Hello, this is Nikki in Niagara, coming to you from Niagara Falls, Canada. And today I am going to be doing an alcohol marker swatch with you. Now, you may have just seen my head. I'm trying to get my chair comfortable. So, this video is for everybody, but I am particularly going to talk to Canadians about the price of alcohol markers. Now, many of the budget-friendly markers are available on .com only and are not available on Amazon in Canada, and if they are, they're about 3 times the price. Some of those are also not available to the UK, but there's more of a chance of them being available to the UK and not Canada. So we're really stuck for getting a good deal on things. So I set about to find I wanted to find the cheapest set of markers that had a good rating, that weren't one of the popular brands that everybody has, such as Ohuhu or Touch New, and wanted to see what there was out there that was an affordable or was actually considered a budget-friendly marker. Now, what I found is that the majority of the markers on Amazon Canada are $1 each or more. So that's not exactly budget friendly. So I searched and I ended up with this. I wanted at least 40 markers, hopefully more. So what I ended up with was 66 markers, and I've never actually seen a 60 set before. So these are called Smart Color Art. It comes in a 66 pack or a 65 plus a blender, and these work out to 70 cents Canadian, which is probably around what, 50 cents American, somewhere around there, maybe cheaper. So I'd consider that a decent price. It would be sure nice if we could get them for 50 cents, but could not find that deal anywhere. So we've got a 70-cent marker here, and this is the best value for the amount of markers that you get here that I could find on Amazon that had good reviews and wasn't the common markers that everybody uses. So it comes in your standard black canvas bag. So we're zoomed in here so that we can do the swatching. So your standard bag, it has a tag on the thing, which my markers have never come in. I do have a tiny little hole right here. If it gets any bigger, I'll probably just do a little whip stitch on there to secure it together. So I'm not sending them back because of that. So the zipper works good, and this bag has the foam inside of it, which my shuttle art bag has, and that I don't know, it helps make it just a little bit more secure since these are pretty flimsy. So I thought we'd take a look at, just a minute, I need my glasses. Alright, I'm back. I can never remember my glasses when I sit down over here. So we're going to take a look at what colors we get in a 60, we'll call it a 65 pack, because here's the blender right here, and we'll try that out too to see what it works like. So first of all, let's take a look at the marker. Well, why don't we get ourselves a color? So these go by the standard numbering system. They have both the number, They have both the number and the name on it, which is better than the Ohuhus because they only have the numbers. Now this is a triangular barrel, which I have to say I really like. I love the the Stettler Tri-Plus line because of its angular, triangular thing. So this is my first set of triangular barrels. So there's a broad and a fine tip. The fine is fairly fine. I think maybe I need my other light on. It's quite fine. And the nice click for when it closes. And it's got the gray mark where the fine end is. And the broad end, oh, that's a nice chisel. It's a decent size, but it's not one of those huge ones. It looks like it's got a good point on it too. So that's the end I'm going to use for swatching. So I'm just going to write down the title here of what we've got. We've got the Smart Color Art, which on screen, all light is shining into my screen. So a set this size, we're going to expect to have, or I would expect to have a nice range of bright, vibrant colors. That's what you get in an 80. Being a 60, I guess there are not going to be as many, but I also expect there to be a few light shades and hopefully a couple of skin tones. And I'm sure they're going to throw in a gray or two. Yeah, I see a few. Hopefully there's not too many grays on a set this size. So let's go. I'm going to do these in numerical order. Makes it easiest to find them. So let's see. Got a 6. So there's 1. So number 1, let's see. Number 1 is wine. Oh, that's not what I'm doing. Okay, putting it here. 1 wine red. And we're swatching the chisel tip. Ooh, that's nice. That's very dark though. Just a minute. I need to put a sheet of paper in here. Oh, just I don't have any. What's that? Oh, that's a cardboard. Okay, there we go. A bit big, but it serves the purpose. Okay, so that's a bit dark than our usual wine red. Okay, so we've got 3. Okay, I've got 2 as well. So 2 is old red. You don't always get 2. Oh, I like that these click. Sorry, I'm going to try and keep my hands on the screen. Okay, so very, very vibrant. Okay, I'll get myself set up here. And then I saw 3. So 3 is rose red. Now I'm just going to kind of hold this one down and see how juicy it is. Oh, yes, it's very juicy. Okay, those are definitely 3 distinct different reds. Okay, so probably not going to have anything until up to this 6. Let's see if there's anything less. Okay, we've got 5. But do we have 4? No, there's no 4. So we have 5, which is cherry pink. And the other sets, that's usually a red. And it is too. That's awfully like a very bright red a true red, Christmas red. Okay, I just wanted to say that on the side of these, this says conforms to ASTM D 4236 and EN 71, in case that means anything to anyone. Don't believe my other markers have that. Let's take a look at an Ohuhu. Yeah, no, my other markers don't say that on them. So I don't know whether that's a good thing or just an average thing. So 6 is vivid pink. It's still on the screen. Whoa, nice bright. Okay, I'm definitely finding these darker and brighter than, say, my shuttle arts. Those are the ones that I'm mostly familiar with working with at the moment. Cosmos. So 7 is Cosmos. Nice. Okay, I gotta say, so far these are nice ones. Like these. Let's see if they're all going to be full. Okay, so now we need 8. We've got 9. Is there an 8? There's an 11. No, there's no 8, so we're going to go with 9. 9 is pale pink. Okay. So yeah. Okay. Hopefully I don't get out of screen here because, okay, that's definitely pale. Suppose we could use that as that can be used as a skin tone. And was there a 10? So I've got 11 here. Get out all the teens. Once I get a few of these out, it will be easier to find them. It's just at the beginning here, so I'm getting out all the teens. That makes it easier. Let me just take a minute here to get out the teens. Okay, so we've got 11, which is Carmine. I don't think that is... Okay, so we're back to red. So we've got 3 pinks in there, and back to a red. This is very close to this one, but this one's pinker, and this one's oranger. Orangier. Speaking of orangier, we have 14, which is Vermillion. Are we still on screen? Yeah, after I've done this one, I'm going to get up and try and tilt my screen. Okay, so Vermillion is an orange-red, or a red-orange, more likely a red-orange. Okay, so I'm just going to try and tilt my screen so it's not shining into the overhead light. Oh, much better. That's like day and night. Okay, so now we're going to go with 15, which is Geranium. I should have known that one. I have that one memorized. So we're still working on the reds here. So the 14 is more orange. This one is more red, and the Carmine is darker. So we're definitely getting different ones, even though they're looking a bit alike. And then on to 17, which is pastel pink. move up a bit. Nib was coming out a bit of that one. Now that's a very nice pastel pink. So far we've got 3 light colors here, so we're looking good. That is definitely not a skin tone, so I'm going to get it at the 20s now, so I'll just take a moment. Okay, we've got lots of the 20s. Okay, so we have got 21 through 25. So 21 is Terracotta. I always think of Terracotta as a brown. And there it's an orange brown. 22 is French Vermillion. Okay, so that's definitely orange. 23 is simply orange. '24 is Marigold. So this is always a possibility that if you have a larger set and you've got this coating of numbers and you are starting to lose your bright colors, then this is a possibility to buy to top up that set. They may not be exactly the same shade as you had before, like, you know, let's look at French Vermilion. Well, here, let's look at Terracotta. Terracotta could be a little bit browner, could be, or it could be a little bit orangier. That's my new word for the day. But you're going to still get an orange brown. Okay, so 25 is salmon pink. Salmon pink. I really love the barrels on this, on these. Of course, I can't say definitely until I've actually colored something with them, but just from doing this, 26 is pastel peach. That is not a common color. I forgot what I was saying. I was almost done it anyways. Okay, so those two, I'll have to let it dry. Those two are looking very, very much alike. See what happens when it's dried. I'm going to get out the 30s now. Okay, we have 3. So this is taking us into yellow now. We have 34, which is deep yellow. One of the things you often find with marigold is that it's much more like a really deep yellow than an orange. And it should be an orange because if you think of the color of marigolds, they're definitely more orange than yellow. Okay, so now I'm looking at these two, and they're definitely distinct colors. This one is pinkier and this one is peacher, so I wouldn't use the pink for skin tone, but I would use the peach. So far I've got 2 colors I would use. The pale pink is iffy. So yeah, this is often the color we get for marigold, but I love the marigold here. This is a really nice shade. So my deep yellow, and then I have 35, which is just plain old yellow. We're still on screen just a little bit. 35 is just yellow. So the biggest set of these markers that I've been able to find on Amazon Canada is 101, and obviously the 1 is the blender. So 38 is a pale yellow. I didn't price out the 101 set, but I did notice that they were less than $1 each, so might be comparable to this set. Okay, and there's pale yellow, so definitely getting some pastels here. Pale yellow, pastel peach, salmon pink, pale pink, and Cosmos, if you want to call that a dusty pink, which is definitely the shade it is there. So after having swatched that one side there, I can say that I love the barrel. It's very comfortable, and the ink is incredibly juicy. So I'm going to get out the 40s now. And the 40s continue on with the yellows and move on into the greens. Okay, oops, almost missed one. Make sure I haven't. So, another thing I mentioned is that in my last few videos I was knocking the tripod around. So 41 is olive yellow. And I didn't really notice that until I watched the video back. And so what I've done today is I've reset up my tripod, spread the legs further apart, and just reset up the whole thing. So that's olive yellow, and that's definitely going on to the olive side of yellow for sure. That is not a common color either. I don't even know if I have that color in my shovel arts. It's not seeming familiar to me. Of course, I just may not use it much. Okay, 42 is bronze green, and this can be a strange color. So let's see what we get. Oh, I'm sorry. I hate it when that happens. I feel so bad when I go off screen. Oh, now that is definitely a dusky green. And that's not a bad shade. I remember it when I was using my Ohuhus exclusively, I called it the yucky green. Deep olive green. And 45 is Canaria Yellow. So that one, I have to talk about the name of this one. Every time I do this one, I think to myself, it's supposed to be Canary Yellow. Well, when these budget markers first came out, there was a lot of them that had strange names. You know, there was a letter that was wrong, or it just had a word that didn't make any sense. And they've pretty much all been fixed up. But this Canaria Yellow stays that way. So I am wondering if Canaria is what the Canary Islands call themselves in their language. And I think they speak Spanish there. So I wonder if Canaria is Spanish. I'm going to look that up to see if it really should be. I am a word freak, grammar Nazi, as we're often called on the internet. I just love finding out the origin of words and the real meaning of them, and what the words used to mean compared to how we've butchered the language now and changed the meaning of so many words. Alright, that is vivid green, and that is very, very vivid. It is a bright shade. And 48 is yellow green. Okay, so push it up a little bit. Okay, that's good. It's a nice light green. These are definitely true to their names. I guess I should look at the barrel, but what happened to 48? I mean at the tops. Yeah, no. The tops of markers never work out true. Okay, so I'm going to grab all my 50s now. Okay, we got lots of 50s. And my bag is starting to get empty here now. Okay, so we got lots of greens. We have the ones we've put down so far. And then we have 50, which is forest green. Nice. That is what I expect a forest green to look like. And 51 is dark green. Now, I just want to try something and see how thin our line goes. Oh, you couldn't see me. Where is it? Oh, there it is. So yeah, it doesn't go really, really thin, but here I'm just gonna use it. Okay, so straight on, and then I'll start lifting my pressure. Yeah, there's too much bleed for these to go very fine. Dark green, yeah, okay. Then we have 53, which is good old green. I know the top of it there looks turquoise. What are we going to get out of this? Yeah, that is just a tint of blue in it there. I like that though. That is a nice color. 54 is Vermillion. I would have probably switched that around and called that one green. And then we have 55, which is emerald green. So it looks to me like you guys are seeing the greens as pretty much the same in shade, at least what I'm seeing on camera. They are definitely all different colors. Now, let's point with that side. This one, this one, this one, and this one are all dark greens, but they are distinctly different. And that one does have more blue in it. Well, not more blue, but it's got a tint of blue in it, not as much as the green. And the emerald green is probably the one that's the closest to forest green. Okay, and we have 59, which is lime green. This is one of my favorite colors. So, let's see what kind of a lime we're getting. A little bit on the dark side, but it hasn't dried yet. Okay, so that is our 50s. So I'll grab out the 60s now. Okay, we got lots of 60s. So the 60s take us through the turquoises into the blues. So we've got 61, which is peacock green. To me, this is the start of the turquoise blue colors, or the turquoise greens colors, sorry. Yeah. So the closest, it's green and peacock green would go next to each other in the color lineup, because they both have the blue in it. And then we're moving on to blue. 64 is Indian blue. And I'm expecting a dark blue here. That one was a little tricky to come off, but no, it snaps. Okay, it's good. Just have to tug on that to get that one out. Oh, that is nice. That's way nicer than the last couple of shades of that color I've gotten. It's bright. 65 is turquoise. This is my favorite color section. And that looks, so they look quite dark when you put them down wet, so they do change quite a bit, these ones. We have 66 is baby blue. Move you up. Nice. That is the, you know, both the, now I'm just looking here. I guess I have to let this dry a little bit more. But looking at these two, Indian blue and baby blue, and they're both cerulean blues to me. Okay, 67 is pastel blue. Okay, so let's hope this is a really nice shade of pastel, like our other pastel shades have been. That has to dry. And our last 60 is 69, which is Prussian Blue. And Prussian is what they used to call things that came from Prussia, and I'm not sure where that is. I got it mixed up in my mind with Persia for a minute there. So I was going to say Prussian rugs, but no, they're Persian rugs. Different places. Okay, Prussian Blue is a dark one. Alright, so now I can see my pastel blue, and it's iffy for a pastel, but it's definitely a light blue-green. I mean green-blue. A light green-blue. Turquoisey. Aqua. Alright, so we're going to go into the 70s now, which are definitely all blues. And oh, aha, I forgot a 60. That makes me only one number out. So this should have gone in between the last two that I did, because it's 68. So my numbering is going to go 67, 69, 68, which is aquamarine. Okay, I was going to say that one felt a little bit drier, but no, it's not. It's definitely liquid there. Okay, so now I'm getting out my 70s. Shouldn't be missing any at this stage. We just have the two. Okay, we just have two. Oh, my bag won't even stand up now. So we have 71, which is Cobalt Blue, and it'll be our last on this page. Nice. Okay, so just so you just show you here what I do when I'm doing alcohol markers in my swatch book. Obviously the alcohol markers are going to bleed through onto the back of the page, so I want to put a blotter in there to take up the excess, or else it would just go through the next 3 pages. The paper that I'm using in my swatch book is drawing paper, which is a little bit thicker than ordinary paper, but there's definitely thicker papers than it. So I do this, and then I take the next page. So I take the next page, and I'm going to swatch on the back of it. So I'm doing the front of this page and the back of the next page, and then when they're finished, I will put a tape runner on the back of one of those pages and stick them together so that it'll be the front and the back of one page turn, just in case that helps someone solve that problem. Alright, so now we've got 76, which is Sky Blue. Oh, I think we'll skip the top one. 76 is Sky Blue. Whoops. And that is a beautiful color. I love that. I was going to say the greens were my favorite color, but then as I was about to say that, I looked over at all those bright pinks and corals, and I thought, oh no, I can't say that. And then, now that we're doing blues, I want to say that blue is my favorite color. My problem is that I am a color person, and I like every color. Okay, I've got lots of 80s here. Okay, so for 80 we have We have 81, which is Deep Violet. So I'm getting into the purples, and there aren't a lot of purples in these sets, even when you have the big ones. It's not the purples that they're putting the extras into. So there's two types of purples. There's a blue purple and there's a red purple. So let's see how the distribution is. So we have 82, which is light violet. Those two look the same at the moment. 83 is lavender. Nice. Okay, so there's definitely a difference between these two now that they're dry. This one is deeper. It's a deep violet, so it's definitely deeper, while the light violet is not light at all, but it's a little bit brighter. It should be called bright violet. Okay, so 85 takes us to vivid purple. I am hoping that you're able to see the color variations on there. I can't see them that well from looking at the camera myself. Whoa, that's a juicy guy. Okay, so there's our first red purple. You see, when we put down the red purple, we can see little tinges of red in some of these blue ones. Like this one that's brighter has just a smidge. Okay, so now we have a Azalea Purple. I thought that was spelled wrong for a minute, but it's not. Azalea Purple. So azaleas are flowers. Yeah, some of these, the nib is just a little bit out, and you just got to give it a little push before you start to set it back in. Okay, so it looks like we only have two, yeah, because the 90s go into brown. So for purples, we've got 3 blue purples and 2 red purples. Not a lot, but at least it's giving us a variety. The thing that we're missing is a pale. Anything that could be called light. So 91 is natural oak. I need to be up a bit. And we're almost done. So let's see what shades of brown we have. So we decided that we had 3 pale shades that could do for skin tones. And now let's take a look at the browns and what we can do for darker skin tones. I would say that natural oak will work. This one usually works. 92 is chocolate. Yeah, that's a nice color. 95 is burnt sienna. Now the 2 ends, right? Yes. I was hoping I didn't spell it wrong that time. And finally, 98 is chestnut brown. So this one, it looks like all our browns can be used for skin tones. Now that's the deepest brown of them all. This would go for not quite ebony skin, as of course ebony means black, but that is very close to that kind of rich, dark brown. So that makes 4, 5, 6, that makes 7 skin tones in this pack. Okay, so now we're going to go on to the 100s, and we start with our ochres, and we end up with fluorescence. Oh, I guess we should put black in there. Okay, so we have 101, which is yellow ochre. Ochre is a shade of brown, so yellow ochre is going to be a yellowish brown. Sometimes you'll find this amongst the yellows. Oh, now I wasn't expecting that. That is almost like our potato brown, which is next. Potato brown is everybody's favorite brown. So you know what? This can be, that yellow ochre can be used as a skin tone too. And so can potato brown. So that makes 9 skin tones. Yeah, so a total of 9, 3 of them being pale shades, sorry. Alright, so 120 is black. It always is. And then all your sets are going to come with some fluorescence. There'll be different ones in different sized packs. So this one gives us 122 and 123, which is the fluorescent orange and fluorescent yellow. So the two that are usually very fluorescent. So let's see if these are made out of that weird stuff and they're not really alcohol markers, or if they are. Oh, yes, it's nice. It's not scratchy and made of that other stuff. And look, it bled right through the page. Well, you can see how fluorescent it is by doing that. So that is definitely an orange that you're going to use. But sometimes the fluorescents in sets are just useless because they're not made of the same. I think you know what I mean. They're made of a different material and the ink isn't alcohol. Whoa. That is fluorescent yellow. Okay guys, so now we come down to our last set. We've got our blender, which I said we would try out, so you know what, let's do that. So the Colorless Blender works best on light colors. It works on dark colors, but not as well. So I'm going to try and do it on this cardboard material. So let's get a green and let's get pale pink. Well, actually, I use pastel pink because that's darker. So the Colorless Blender works the faster you get to it. Let's try using the nib. Okay, so, and what it does is it erases, or it takes off a layer. So I'll do half of that. Now it should take away all of that. And let's try the green. Are we on? There we go. Okay, I can't go any more or else it's going to start tearing the paper. but if I let that dry, I can go back in there and totally erase it. It worked really well. So we're left with our grays. So let's start with cool gray. Then warm gray. Then green gray, and then blue gray. Alright, so the two most popular grays are cool gray and warm grays. So we're going to start with our cool grays. Now this is still wet, so you can't see how it's erased yet. So I have to wait for this right here, which is moisture, to disappear. So we have cool gray 1, which is CG1. And I'm not going to write down what that is because I know. And we have cool gray 3. And then we jump, oh, we don't jump very high. We go to, oh no, oh yeah, here we do. We jump up to cool gray 7. So this is giving us a light, a medium, and a dark cool gray. Are you on? Okay, so we're going to go with 1, 3, and 7, and that's a nice distribution there. Light, medium, and dark gray. And then we're going to go on to warm grays, and they've given us the most here. We have 4 warm grays. I'm not a fan of warm gray. 1, 2, 3, 4. You know what? I'm going to start up here just so that we've got some up at the top. So we've got warm gray 0.5. That's a half. Warm gray 2. Warm gray 5. And warm gray 8. So we've got 2 lights, a medium, and a dark. Now warm gray 5 I use a lot. Sorry, warm gray 0.5 I use a lot. I use this one to outline things that I want to be white. Sort of like clouds that look a little bit stormy. Anything that I like, fur, I'd outline it with the 0.05. Not snow though. Snow I outline with a blue gray. Okay, so number 2 should be light but darker, yeah. 5 will get us our medium warm gray. My problem with the warm grays is that they're very brownish. A warm gray 8 will give us our dark warm gray. And see, that's going towards a black, whereas the blue grays aren't. Okay, so now I think I'm going to do it with blue gray. Oh no, okay, let's do green gray. We've got 1, and that's green gray 5. So right in the middle, G, 5. So this is a medium green gray. And if you look closely at your green grays, GGs, they have a green base to them. So they're good to use when you're using green shades. And then for blue gray, they've given us 1 and 5. BG1 and BG5. So we're going to have a light and a medium. The blue gray 1 would be the one that I use for outlining snow and ice, and it's a lot lighter than the warm gray or the cold gray. If you don't have a blue gray, you can use a cold gray down here. Cold gray 1 to outline your snow and ice. And 5 will be a medium. or in this case we can say light and dark blue grays. And that's our whole set. So I'm just going to zoom you out so we can see the whole page here and you can get a good look at the colors on the page. Okay, there we go. So you can see they're very bright down here. And while we have a lot of dark greens, they are broken up with brights every so often. And same with the blues. We got a combination of lights and darks. So we have mostly greens. We have a really good section of reds. I mean, you don't really need more than, well, 4, 5. There's 6 reds when you count them all. And there's a really good selection of oranges in there too, because we can count deep yellow as an orange or a yellow, depending on what you're putting it with. And then on the other side is where we have our purples, and there aren't very many purples. For a 66 set, I would say that that is a 6 browns, I think is a really good. You couldn't ask for more in a set like this. And a decent amount of grays will spread out nicely too. So we've got a bit of each cool, warm green and blue grays. So, yeah, so I would say that's just perfect, having your different shades of gray. My overall opinion of this is that I like them very much. The handle, the triangle barrel, I keep calling it a handle. Take my marker along. The triangle barrel, the nibs are nice. The bullet one is quite thin. Let's just do it over here. So that's as thin as my broad tip will get us. And whoops, this is what the bullet tip will do. So now if we go to these colors, you can see it isn't quite dry yet, but let me hold it up. There, if you look at the pink, let me get my finger on there so I can put, yeah. See, the pink has erased it all. The green, there's some still showing, but once this is 100% dry, I can go back in there and rub over it again. And it will show a teeny bit, but not enough, like, it'll be light enough that you can go over it with a different color. So it's a great way to erase your mistakes. If you color a section the wrong color, use your colorless blender and get it as light as you can, and go over it with a color that's darker than that lightness that you have left. So I give these 2 thumbs up, and I'm really pleased with my decision on getting these. Let's get you open to the other page and see all the colors. Alright, so I'm just a couple of minutes under an hour. Yikes, it takes a long time to swatch, doesn't it? So I'm just going to say goodbye. So until next time, bye-bye.